Hello, YouTube. I'm Jack Jaguar, and we're here with.
Sean Hollman.
And what did you do?
I played Infernoble this last couple of weeks,
Okay.
and I've been I've been enjoying it quite a lot. I've been playing more of a pure build, not so much of the one card combo stuff with the battling boxers, because I feel like it can just play more in some ways, and I feel like the list does do what I want it to do most of the time. It just comes down to a lot of little micro plays and understanding what everything in the deck can do.
Okay. Well, perfect. Let's go ahead and get into the main deck.
Okay. To start off, I play 3 copies of Infernoble Knight Ogier. He can foolish any Fire Warrior or any Noble Arms card from deck to graveyard. You can foolish out things like Turpin to help you keep playing, or you can get early Phoenix Gearfrieds, so that way you can help beat things like Nib or start breaking boards because he has an effect where you can take things non-targeting in the battle phase. Played 3 copies of Infernoble Knight Oliver. Most people only play this guy at 1. I chose to play him at 3 because a lot of the times you're going to be drawing a lot of like the 1-of Fire Warriors, or you're going to be drawing like a lot of redundancy, like maybe 2 Ogiers or one of the equip spells that you don't necessarily need. So Oliver acts as a way to get those in the graveyard because they have more beneficial effects in graveyard, right? And he also turns himself into a level 1 tuner, and he has his own graveyard effect to equip, which can come up a lot, help make lines either help your Angelica resolve through cards like Imperm or Veiler, or depending on what your hand is looking like, you can put it onto a Gearfried, so that way if you're trying to beat Nib, you can equip Oliver and Ogier, and then when they chain Nib, you can detach the Ogier, and the Gearfried remains untargetable because of Oliver, so they can't Imperm it or Veiler it. Played 2 copies of Renault. The reason I played 2 instead of 3 is because he doesn't play as well with most of the other cards. Like, he doesn't play well with Oliver. He doesn't play well with a lot of the level 1 cards. And he doesn't play well if you draw a lot of the equips, whereas Oliver can, right? Because not only can Oliver send a Fire Warrior, he can also send an equip, which can help get you like a better normal summon like Ogier.
Okay.
We play 1 of the Infernoble Knight Roland. This guy is used mainly in the combo to search out the Angelic Ring. Just through sequencing, whether you have access to like an early Durandal, or you just get the Durandal off the museum from Angelica and then get the Roland to then foolish or get the ring in the end phase. And then for more of the 1-ofs, we play the Ricardetto. Comes up a lot through Nib lines. Turpin. Turpin's a really good extender, and he also helps enable a lot of the plays of the deck. And Malgus. Malgus is a really good card. He helps enable the grind game a lot. He shuffles back 3 cards for cost, so no matter what, you're always going to get 3 cards back into your deck, and then he gets the effect to draw 1. And then we play the 1 Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. He's your monster negate of the deck, helps you beat Nib, helps you break boards, can do a lot of things, can help you climb into like a Princess to Reborn or Ricardetto to combo that way. For the equips, I play 2 Almaces, 1 Durandal, and 1 Joyous. The 2 Almaces, I like Almace a lot because it can help you get to Durandal with cards like Oliver to help get to your Ogier. It's not a bad card to open because we also play like the Diabell Star package, so being able to get the free equip to then search out a Durandal is good. Durandal is pretty self-explanatory. Searches out any of the level 4 Fire Warriors or the level 1s. And then Joyous is really good because you can use it to grab back Gearfried, and then you can use Gearfried's effect to banish the Joyous and summon himself, which can help a lot through beating it. Then we play the 1 Rhoda and 3 Heritage of the Chalice. They're basically the same card, except this one is specifically for Noble Knights, but they're all Noble Knights anyways. You don't use the second effect of that card so much, mainly just the one to search, but it can also add from graveyard to hand, so you can do things where like you can foolish a museum off of Ogier because it's treated as a Noble Arms card, then you can add it back with Heritage, so then you can get your museum equipped that way, and that can help a lot too because of museum's second effect, which we'll get into. And speaking of museum, we got a museum right here. You pay 1,200 for cost to search out any of the equip spells, and then if that search successfully resolves, you can special summon 1 of your Infernoble Knights treated as an equip spell, which being able to do that helps a lot with playing through Nib, because most of the time you just need to get to a level 1 tuner and a level 4 body so you can make the level 5 synchros.
Okay.
That's about it for the Infernoble side. We play 3 Wanted, 2 Witch, and I play 2 Original. Really good. for obvious reasons. It gives you the body to equip to. Being able to draw an extra card is always nice. And original helps a lot with beating Nib, because a lot of the time when you're going through Nib, you want to summon Ricardetto because he can reborn any of the level 4s, and that gets you another, that's 1 + 4, 5, right? So original comes up more for beating Nib, but it can also come up if like you just have, Witch and a level 4, you can still get the level 1 tuner and still get access to your Ricardetto that way. So where if something ever comes up and you can reborn the Ricardetto, you can just keep playing, because that was a lot of the idea with the deck, was just to be able to keep playing.
Okay.
And then for non-engine, I just played 12 pre-side. We play 3 effect failures, pretty good. It's also noted that you can combo with this. If you open a lot of equips, if one of them can search out the Turpin, you can special summon the Turpin with the extra equip that's equipped to the effect veiler. And because Turpin's level 4 and he's a level 1 tuner, you can make an Angelica off that.
Wow.
We play 3 Ash Blossoms, pretty standard. I opted to main deck 3 Talents. I like 3 Talents in the main deck a lot. Talents can do a lot for this deck. And whether it's drawing 2, going first or going second to help on brick, looking at your opponent's hand or taking a monster just to find a way to keep playing, Talents does a lot. And then 3 Imperm, just generically good overall. It's a 44 card main list.
Okay.
I actually want to try to get down closer to 40, but we still got a long way to go there.
That's for sure. So, are you pretty happy with it being at 44 though, or do you feel like it hurts to not have it at 40 yet?
It hurts sometimes going second because you won't see a lot of the non-engine you want to see. But most of the time you want to play. I feel like you want to play more than 40 because a lot of the cards you don't want to see, like for instance here Malgus is like, he does nothing on summon. He just enables your grind game from the graveyard.
Okay.
He's good, but you don't necessarily want to have to normal summon this guy, right? So you don't want to try to see him in your hand, and that's where cards like Oliver can come in, because if you do open Oliver plus this, you can still send him to the graveyard and get his effects that way.
I see. Okay.
And then we'll do the extra deck. For the Infernoble cards, we play 2 Rolands. Most people only play 1. I play 2 because it can come up in Nib sequencing if you don't have any equips, because you want to keep your equips to make the Link Charles. We'll get into why later, but it can come up having 2. And if it does, you actually make him through the Synchro Summoning way, so you do get follow-up, you do get a Foolish and Equip from deck, and you do get to search out any of the Fire Warriors. We play 1 Angelica, pretty custom card for the deck, searches out the museum, and then if it gets targeted for an effect, it does a whole bunch of stuff. Foolish is a Fire Warrior from deck, special summons one of the Rolands. Sometimes people imperm this when you're going to search the museum. It feels great because you can just chain the second effect. We play the Synchro Charles, just the 1-up. This guy doesn't inherently really do too much on his own, but when he's with the 2 Link Charles is when he really shines. To make the Link Charles, you need an equip attached to the Synchro Charles. That's why it's important sometimes to play 2 of this, because you get to make better use of the bodies that you can potentially generate and keep his equip in the graveyard, or one of the other Infernoble Knight equips in the graveyard, to be able to equip to the Charles to then make the Link Charles, right? And how this works is the Link Charles is a soft once per turn spell negate. And when he is Link summoned, he targets the Charles in the graveyard and immediately inherits all of his effects. Even if like they were to crow this Charles out of the graveyard, he still has the effects of the Synchro Charles. So, and then he equips him to himself. So it becomes the soft once per turn spell trap negate, and then this card reads, during the end phase, you can equip any equip card from your graveyard to itself, and then a Fire Warrior from deck. And if a card ever becomes equipped, either on your side of the board or on your opponent's side of the board, you have the effect of non-targeting pop any card on the field.
Okay.
So that's it for the Infernoble names. We play 1 Typhon. I just really like having a Typhon sometimes. It can come up, it can be really helpful. 1 Anima. You play a lot of the level 1s, which can really come up and help start breaking boards. One time I had a Goddess made on me, so I just slapped a level 1 down right in front of it, right? Link Spider, really good for playing through Nib. right? Whether you already have the original set or you have a witch in hand, you can turn the nib token into a link spider because most of the time you're not warrior locked by that point. There are certain warrior locks on the deck, but most of the time it doesn't come up, and you can just make the link spider. Play an IP and an SP. I don't make these cards a lot because you have to play, I feel like, a little bit more greedy. But you can certainly like make an IP and have that on your end board, and then you can go IP into SP, or you can go IP into Appaloosa. It's just options. I don't really make these cards. They're just sort of there because they can be. And then I also play a Dark Charmer and a Fire Charmer. These cards are really good because they help you climb into Princess. And being able to climb into Princess is really good because let's say for instance you have the Synchro Charles in the graveyard and both of your Link Charles. What you can do is you can end up climbing into a Princess and shuffling back one of the Link Charles into your extra deck, and then reborn the Synchro Charles with the Princess, and then equip again, and then you can make this again, which re-inherits all of its effects, right? Because it has to be Link summoned, it can't be special summoned. So through use of the deck, you can recycle this, special summon this back out with the Princess, or if you have extra materials, you can special summon out like a Ricardetto and then have a Princess in the graveyard as your end board. It's just, these cards are really good together when it comes to just being able to keep playing. And even Hita's effect is really good in this deck. I didn't realize it. Last night I had a misplay where I accidentally made a Dark instead of a Hita. I don't know why, I just did. But if I had Hita's effect, I could basically search out any card in the deck, and that would have helped me keep playing. And, you know, even though it wasn't really a great game state I was in, I could have, you know, kept playing, and being able to keep playing is always good.
Oh wow, okay.
But most of the time, like, as long as you can keep playing in this deck, you will be able just to get to your end boards fairly consistently. But
So would you say that this is mainly like a grind deck, and you usually try to outgrind your opponent?
yeah,
Typically?
I try to. That's how I try to think of this deck a little bit more. I try to think of it more of a mid-range combo deck instead of just like a balls to the wall combo deck, because you can definitely, like, with some of the one card combos, you can end on A+ interruptions, like an Appaloosa on board, like you can have everything. But I feel like the Infernoble cards themselves are really good at just being able to keep playing. So as long as you can keep playing, and then even if you end on the one Charles, it's a soft once per turn spell negate, and it's a non-targeting pop. So like if your opponent has no cards and you have like a Charles, right, like, you still stand like a chance to not lose the next turn.
Yeah.
And then for the side, I played 3 Droll. Just felt like it could be good. Not too much to say, just in case Ash Blossom wasn't enough for some decks, because that tends to be what I would side it out for, is because if I feel like an Ash Blossom isn't going to do enough, I'll side in a Droll. I played 2 Ghost Spells to come up if someone's playing like a fire deck, hitting a Flambridge with a Ghost Spell can feel pretty good, or if it's like going second, it's not a dead draw, even because if they have a Princess in graveyard, you can Ghost Spell the Princess. 3 Fenrirs. I feel like Fenrir could be really good for some rogue decks. This used to be 2 Thrusts and a Harpies, but I felt like that wasn't getting as much use as I could potentially get from 3 Fenrirs, not only like doubling as a board breaker going second, but also being a body that I can equip to going second, right? We got 3 Nibs, pretty standard, and then I got 3 crossouts and 1 called by for siding when going first. I feel like if you have these cards in your hand when you're going first, you're pretty much set, right? That plus talents, you're just beating hand traps, you're taking cards out of your opponent's hand, and you could just build a bigger board, and it's just going to be much harder for you to play through, because the end boards can be anything, right? Like you can make IPs that go into Appaloosas and, you know, have all of that, or have an SP banish and you'll have, you know, 2 spell trap negates. Like you'll have so much, right? And then you'll have the ability to recur all your resources, draw a card on your opponent's turn. There's a lot that you can't do.
Perfect. Okay. And so were you pretty happy with the side deck and everything?
I'm still trying to figure out the side deck. I don't know what to put in it yet, really.
Okay.
I'm thinking that I might take the ghost spells out to put in the, let's see if I can find them here. I'm not going to be able to find them. I didn't put this back correctly. But I might take these out to put in the Roland and put in the Angelic Ring. Because those cards, even though like I'm playing a lot of cards to kind of dilute the deck to not draw into them, I still see them a fair portion of the time, and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
So that might be a really easy way to get the deck down to 40, is by taking these 2 cards out of the side deck and putting in the Roland and the Angelic Ring, because
Okay.
I feel like that would be a little bit better. But at the same time, I really like this card, especially going into fire matchups, because they can't, like, if you do open this card and this card only, they can't punish you by going into like a Hida and then Princess, right?
Yeah.
Because it's an Earth.
Nice. Alrighty. Well, let's. Do you want to go and show us just one of the most basic combos that you usually do?
Yeah, I'll do. We'll do Ogier and Renault. So let's get the Renault. Let's get the Ogier. So you could start with your normal summon of Ogier, and then you would activate the effect of Foolish, any card really from your deck. In this case, we are going to send the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. And then because we control a Fire Warrior, we can go ahead and special summon Renault from our hand. And then Renault can target a Fire Warrior or an equipped card in the graveyard and add it to your hand. So we can go ahead and add this back now. And when he's special summoned by his own effect, he becomes treated as a tuner. So now we have our level 4 and our level 1. So we can go ahead and make an Angelica. And we can activate Angelica's effect. Angelica's effect grabs us a museum. And we would play the museum and then activate the effect to search out an equip. In this case, we can grab Durandal. This is why, like, in theory, it's not bad main decking Roland, but it can be bad because we go Durandal to target this. And then we would activate the effect to search. And search the Little Roland. And now because we have an equip in the graveyard, we can activate Gearfried's effect to banish the equip to special summon. And we can attach the Ogier to the Gearfried. And now you're technically nib proof because this is your 4th summon and this is a monster negate now that it has the equip attached.
Oh, nice.
And because we have the Roland, we can target the Angelica and then activate the Angelica's effect to Foolish a Warrior and then special summon a Roland monster from the deck or extra deck. So we send Turpin here. And due to game mechanics, Roland is also going to go to the graveyard. So this is how you would search out the ring. So Angelica gets banished until the end phase. This guy goes to the graveyard. And our Turpin's in the graveyard now. So because we control a card with an equip, we can also special summon him. And now we have our 5 and our 4, so we can make a 9. Because Turpin was summoned from the graveyard, he gets banished. And now we can activate Roland's effect from the graveyard to equip. And then from here we can link up into Charles and then activate his effect to target the Synchro Charles in the graveyard to equip. And then for 2 cards, this would be the end board. If you opened another extender, another way to search, anything like that, another equip, you could special summon this Charles off of Museum. And then equip it, make another Link Charles, right? But we don't have that just with these 2 cards. So what we're going to do instead, we're just going to proceed to the end phase. Our Angelica is going to come back. We're going to activate the effect of Roland. Because he was sent to the graveyard this turn, we can add a equip spell or a Fire Warrior from deck to hand. So in this case, you would add the Angelic Ring, and then you would activate the effect of Charles the Great to equip a equip spell from hand or graveyard, and then equip a Fire Warrior from deck. So Angelic Ring, you can equip, but it has to be to a card that has an equip already attached to it. So because this is equipped with the Charles, we can equip the Angelic Ring.
Okay.
And then you have a couple choices of what Fire Warrior to equip. You can equip the Malgus, which if you use the effects, one of the effects to negate, it sends one of the equips, right? So you can send the Malgus, and then the Malgus can shuffle back 3 cards for cost to draw 1, or you can set an Oliver, and Oliver would make this guy untargetable. So it's kind of up to you. I feel like setting the Malgus is normally the better play, because if they're going to go and imperm something, you're probably going to negate it anyways, right? So at least with Malgus, like, you would be able to shuffle back 3 to draw 1. So like, and because it's for cost, we can go like.
It does it for cost. That's good.
Yeah, it shuffles back for cost.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
You can shuffle back from graveyard or banish, so you can shuffle back all 3 of these, and then you can draw 1, right?
Nice.
But no matter what, like, you're gonna get your 3 cards back in deck. So this guy's like like I said, he does inherently nothing on his own. Like on summon, he does nothing. He's just a level 4 body. But when it comes to an actual grind game, right, you just have infinite resources. No matter what, you're going to be cycling something back, right? It's very nice. There's a multitude of different ways that you can take it to. There's different combo sequencing you can do if you open, different cards. It's very non-linear. It does always end on the same thing, but the way you get there can change like vastly depending on what cards you open. It just all depends on the hand. But that would be like a 2-card combo that's nib-proof, and that's what this deck excels at, is the 2-card combos, right?
All right, cool. Well, if you guys want any more combo videos, let us know in the comments. I'm sure Sean might be open to doing a combo video in the future if you guys want some more in-depth explanations or different lines that you can take. So let us know in the comments. Besides that, did you have any shout outs that you wanted to give?
Shout out to Ghost Events and Gaming here in Colorado. I love coming here. It's a very welcoming place, and I always try to get all my cards here when I can. I love to support the local card shops, so it's just about it.
Alrighty, well, thank you again, and congrats on getting 4th place.
Yeah, thank you, man.